Running Back Nation, what is good? Oh my goodness, man. I know I got to do a YouTube show. We got to do a YouTube show, Greg. I'm speechless. This is what just transpired over the course of a fourth quarter and an overtime was just, I mean, like I'm tired like I was playing in a basketball game. I was literally doing no physical activity at all, and I am worn out from watching that. My God. Everybody hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Whatever else I say on my intro. New merch, the Stop Bitching Joel Embiid merch just dropped today. Go grab that, especially after a shot like that to win the damn game in overtime. So listen, this is how we're gonna start the show. Where were you on April 20th, 2022, when Joel Embiid hit an overtime game winner in the playoffs? I'm gonna tell you my story, okay? In the fourth quarter, listen, I have a 6-year-old son. He was asleep by about 8 o'clock today. I woke him up twice in the fourth quarter by just being a loud, obnoxious idiot in my living room. I apologized to him twice. Overtime happens. I'm standing on the end of my couch. I have a couch with one of the chases, you know what I mean? A long chase. I'm standing up on the couch, bare feet. I'm screaming at the TV, I cannot handle double overtime. Please, somebody end this game. Joel hits the shot. I jump off of my couch, almost tear my ACL probably, because I did not stretch before this athletic endeavor that I just participated in. The bottom of my feet hurt right now. I jumped onto a hardwood floor barefoot off the edge of my couch. My kid wakes up again. Either way, I'm speechless. Shout out to 310 people already in the chat. Greg, go ahead, give me your story, I guess, on where you were on April 20th, 2022, when Joel Embiid hit a game winner in an overtime game in the playoffs in Toronto, amidst all the fucking Embiid chants, amidst all of the, he cried after whatever, here's the Kawhi shot, he's not on our team anymore. You couldn't write this game any more perfectly. I got your mic muted. My bad. Here we go. There we go. My bad.
Dude, I mean, I'm speechless. DJ, I'm speechless. Halftime rolls in. I tweet out the Sixers are going to win this game. I had a feeling, man. I don't want to speak too soon, but this seems a little special right now. This is the most uncharacteristic Sixers win I've ever seen in my life. And for some reason, I just was confident that we were going to win this game from the beginning to the end. We were down 17 in the first half, and Toronto is arguably the hardest place to play in the entire NBA. And they're down 2-0, and this is a series-determining game, and the fuck Embiid chants are out ablaze, loud as hell. You can hear them clearly through whatever device you're watching. And Embiid has 5 points and 4 turnovers at half. We're only down 10. No one plays well. Harden had a really good game. I will give it to him. The fact that Harden fouls out in the fourth quarter on a bullshit call and Joel Embiid ends it on a fadeaway fucking three-pointer in goddamn Toronto's grill to end that shit. This has got to be the greatest night of his life. I mean, nobody deserves exactly what just happened more than that, man. You know what, man? Like, right in Toronto's face. I mean, holy shit. There's so much that we're going to talk about for this game. There's so much to be extremely happy about. There's also a few things where I'm definitely concerned about, but I mean, I am sitting on my couch or sitting on my bed, laptop right in front of me, this far away, and I'm losing years on my life watching this game because Lord Almighty, was this the most nerve-wracking game I have ever freaking seen in a first-round game. And Joel Embiid is the MVP of this league and puts on a masterclass performance in the second half. He comes out in the third quarter, and this is the most uncharacteristic playoff Embiid game I've ever seen, and that's why I am buying stock into this Sixers team right now, because this is not a game that we ever win. Not even this season. We don't win this game. We lost 3 times to Toronto for a reason, and Embiid came out and just said, "I got it." 0.9 seconds left on a shot clock. Embiid takes a fadeaway corner three right where he basically hit it a quarter before, and splash. The arc, everything was just so perfect. And his reaction, DJ, I just wanted to cry. I wanted to
I
cry,
can't wait to
man.
watch it over and over and over.
It means so much to him. It means so much to this guy, dude. I'm so happy for him. I'm so
And
happy for Joel Embiid.
this was definitely the game that, like I said, anticipating this series, we're gonna have these games where Toronto bullies us. They out rebound us, they out hustle us, they swarm the double triple teams to Embiid. I think they threw the kitchen sink at him in game one, and everybody else stepped up. They backed off a little bit in game two, and he dropped 30 with his eyes closed. This game that Nick Nurse said, all right, let's go back to what we did in game one. Let's throw doubles and triples at him right away, right when he touches the ball, make everybody else beat you. Everybody else didn't step up like they did in game one, where Tobias had 21 at halftime and Maxey went for 38 and all that stuff. So everybody else didn't step up as much. This was the exact type of game that I thought we were going to lose, because this was the Toronto doing all of the things that we're bad at, offensive rebounding, all of those things. And when we got into the, we were down by 17 in the first half. I said, if we can cut it to 10 or under 10 at halftime, we're in good shape. And there was time in the third quarter where we cut it to 5, like 3 or 4 different times, and they made another big shot or another big shot. But I said to myself, and I tweeted probably 100 times, and I was texting people, was in group chats. I can't answer everything, obviously, but I said, we're clearly the way better talented team. If we played a terrible game, they played a great game, and they're only up by 5 points in the third quarter, and we had 21 turnovers at that time. So we did every single thing. We did every single thing to lose this game, and we were only down by 5. And that just tells you, like we were saying coming into this, we just have more star power. The Toronto Raptors have a ton of athletes, a ton of guys that are great high-level role players, but they're one or two really star players away from being a great team. And I'm not saying they can't be one, but when you're going up against Joel Embiid in the playoffs, in the healthiest season of his career, he was not going to lose this game. He tried to win it in regulation. It was one of those like, oh my God, why are we shooting this? Why are we shooting a fadeaway three? With no time on the clock in the fourth quarter, but it's Joel Embiid. He comes right back down in overtime and says, why am I shooting that? I'm going to show you guys why I was shooting that, and I'm going to do it again. And he just shoots a turnaround fadeaway to win the damn game with 0.7 seconds on the clock. I mean,
I want to throw something real quick. Did you see who was in for that last possession? DeAndre Jordan.
Was it really Doc threw him in there for
Doc threw him in to contest the inbound passer. Dude, I don't care. As long as we're winning ball games, I will let DeAndre Jordan play 0.7 of a second of a game. Dude.
That's like the Eagles putting Terrell Owens on the punt return or whatever to try to block a game-winning field goal like that. It's just like, yep, 0.7. You need the tallest guy on the roster in there.
What a game, dude. I mean, first of all, I want to get out all the obvious. Joel Embiid is the MVP. We've been looked at all year long like Philadelphia fans are absolutely crazy and senile and just not knowing the game of basketball for saying that. He has been called a foul merchant for how long? And all year long, dude. And for Embiid to come out and hit less than 10 free throws, and hit that game winner the way he did in the fashion that he did, the tough shot after tough shot that he constantly knocked down after having an abysmal first half, arguably his worst first half of the season, in the hostile environment where he is genuinely the worst of himself. I mean, you can't script up a better story. You can't script up a better ending. I mean, that was perfect. Danny Green was great. Tobias Harris, dude, was phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. Pascal Siakam was so afraid in that overtime end of the fourth quarter. Yep. Because Tobias Harris completely shut him down. And this team is just, man, this I'll never forget this game. This was
Tobias Harris. I mean, man, the dude's playing like he only had 11 points in this game, but look at his efficiency. 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 12 rebounds. He played 47 minutes. and he just played lockdown defense on Siakam again. Like this is literally this entire series. Siakam can't take him one-on-one. I don't know where this defender came from Tobias Harris. I feel like he just accepted a role and he said, I just need to be a guy that catches and shoots, and I got to try harder on defense. He's just giving it 110% on defense every single play, and his body positioning is perfect. He's using his size, like what we've said for a couple of seasons. Like this dude's 6'9", 230. He shouldn't be. He should be able to use his body to finish at the rim, and to play defense. And I don't know so much about finishing at the rim still, but playing defense, man, he's just been great.
He was awesome, dude. And I mean, the Sixers were on the wrong side of the majority of the foul calls all night. I mean, they really came out tonight. And I personally, I think it was a lot more in favor of the Raptors for the first 3 quarters, and then they kind of swallowed their whistle for both ends towards the fourth and overtime, which I am always a fan of. Let them play. That the foul call on Embiid at the end, I get it because he hit his head, but it was post hitting the ball, so
Yeah.
it was kind of a loose ball at that point. I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to argue that call specifically, but
Foul. Yeah, it just sucks.
there were a lot of just very poor calls. And the Sixers weathered the storm. I said it in the first quarter. We're down 11, and I say as long as the Sixers weather this storm, we are going to win. And they just stayed close. You know what I mean? They were just close enough to go on one last run, tie it up. At the end of the fourth quarter, I hated the play call by Doc Rivers, but that timeout was a high IQ timeout in overtime. It was a very high IQ
All those
timeout.
timeouts in regular season games. There's no way he calls that timeout in a regular season game. He just ends it and he goes golfing in the morning. He definitely, all of the Doc slander that I've given him all season. I think he just doesn't really care that much about the regular season, especially when you're already third or fourth seed and you really look at the seeding and stuff like that. I just think and I said it a lot, like maybe they're just out there, breaking a sweat. They don't really care that much or whatever. And it seems that way because right when the playoffs started, it was like, now we're getting the best version of the 76ers. And you guys were right. Everybody that told me we're going to play different in the playoffs, you're going to see the best version of this team. I didn't have like that high of hopes. I did not think we were going to be up 3-0 in this series. But yeah, I mean, Doc's been coaching great. And whether it's Doc or whether it's Doc in a collective of Sam Cassell's like off the bench talking to players on the court. Like, I mean, but yeah, that timeout, he doesn't call that in the regular season. Then we all bitch on Twitter for 2 days about why didn't he call a timeout. But
I couldn't believe Embiid was that open on the final possession. I mean, you know the ball is going to him. It's so crazy to me that the Raptors really were just unready for that. They weren't ready for that final play. I want to talk about Gary Trent. He's an absolute bucket every time he puts up a shot. It's nothing but net. Van Vliet hit a couple of big threes in the fourth. Siakam went ghost, but the Raptors are such a good team, dude. Like this is a really impressive win because the Raptors are so deep, and they had a lot of guys tonight that just played really good basketball. Paul Reed came in, weathered the storm. He looked bad at times, but he had a couple of really nice plays. And I want to say that Joel Embiid, when Matisse Thybulle is not in Toronto, Embiid is without a doubt our best perimeter defender, regardless of who has the ball. Joel Embiid is the most rock-solid perimeter defender, interior defender, off-ball defender on this team. And like,
I think it's easy to say he's the best 7-foot perimeter defender we've ever seen in the game.
Ever. And to me,
he's sticking Siakam like nobody. It's crazy the way that he plays.
It's crazy, and to me, it's like it's not now that Jokic is playing bad that we're calling for the MVP and how it's bad. But what I'm saying is like this has been the case all year long. Like this, it's not different. Nothing has changed, dude. This is just a Joel Embiid game. Like this is not like some career night for him outside of the final shot. Like this is something he does every single night at any point of a game, and like that's just what it hurts me because he's going to be an all NBA second team player, and there's nobody better than him on the planet Earth. Like there's nobody better than him on this planet. No one is hitting that shot that he hit tonight at his size, and it's just it's wild. The fact that the Sixers won this game in Toronto with Harden fouled out in that overtime. Tyrese Maxey hit a couple really early big shots in the OT. Embiid hit that fadeaway elbow contested jumper. Like it looked like he shot it left-handed. It was absolutely mind-boggling. It went in defensively. Tobias Harris just I'm going to say the same things over and over again tonight, but like we really have to just make sure we are understanding of this is a team win, and Embiid deserves every little thing that happened to him tonight because it's phenomenal. And there's no better place to do it than goddamn Toronto.
No better place. You couldn't write this any better. What I always argue about advanced analytics is that those numbers, those mathematic equations will never take into account the biggest plays at the biggest time. You know what I mean? A player can have a higher algebraic equation, whatever word you want to say, advanced box plus minus PR rating, whatever it is, over the course of an entire game based on every single play that happens. Joel Embiid can take off 3 plays in the first half, and that could affect his number in that equation. But when it matters the most in the fourth quarter, when he's sticking Fred VanVleet on the perimeter or Pascal Siakam or anybody else almost in the NBA, which doesn't even really make sense when you look at the size of him compared to the guy with the ball. That's what we're talking about when we talk about the eye test versus the numbers, and it just is what it is. It just is what it is. It will always be the eye test for me. People can study the numbers all they want and say this is a historic season, so this guy deserves the MVP. We're watching something we've never seen before in the history of the game on several different levels, like the fadeaway 3 that he hit last game in the corner. I said on Twitter, show me a guy his size that's ever done this. Somebody send me a clip of this. It's never happened. Those guys didn't practice from that distance, so I get it. But I'm just saying, like, the game evolves. This is one of the most skilled centers we've ever seen in the entire game, and he deserves MVP this year. But whether he gets it or not doesn't matter. I am now on the belief that he can carry this team as far as they could possibly go. I think we talked a lot about their deficiencies at the backup center position. The bench was a lot of the talk that we got in the regular season, a lot of talk that we had. Niang gave you 9 points again. Paul Reed did his hustler that comes in at the backup center position. It had a bad game, but I still don't think it's worse than Paul Millsap or DeAndre Jordan would have done. And, you didn't get much from the bench in this game. We didn't play a great game at all. But, we just pulled it out. That
Niang was huge.
Outmatched at the end of the day. Like, they should have won this game by 10 plus, really, with how we were playing.
Niang was huge, dude. I mean, George, I said it in our last stream. I was like, you know what, dude? I watched back our last stream too, and I said that I don't care that George Niang had a bad game because he has been good consistently all season long. I'm going to play him next game, and I'm going to do I don't care. I don't care that he got cooked game 2. He came out, and he was incredible. He kept us in the game. He hit 3 threes on the night, but 2 of them were right after the Raptors hit a 3, and it's just the timing that he played tonight was perfect. I've watched this replay of Embiid's 3-pointer like 48. I have it on replay right now on my screen. And also Kyle Kuzma just tweeted, I know we're numb to a lot of things in this society, but a 7-foot center just cashed a 3 to win a playoff game. MVP, 1 of 1. 1 of 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, it's pretty obvious. They say ballers choose Embiid, and math students choose the other guy. It is what it is. Like I say a lot, you could choose any 3 of them, any of these this 5-year span of greatness of these 3 players. You could choose any 3 of them. So, I mean, like, give us respect at least once. Give Joel his respect at least once.
The defense that Embiid played tonight was just otherworldly. I mean, defensive player of the year type performance. He was so good. Paul Reed also played some really good perimeter defense. I know his plus minus isn't great. I think it was a minus something on the night, but he missed a really bad layup that he should not have been.
Offensive foul.
But at the same time, like, his perimeter defense is good, and he is just quick enough, and he's fast enough, and he's athletic enough to stay in front of these guys for Toronto, and he was giving them a hard time off ball, on ball, and it's a lot of the stuff you're not going to see in a box score, but I liked his hustle, man. I like Paul Reed.
That shot attempt that he had, it's like that's the exact situation you don't want him to be in. Nobody's like, yo, Paul, what are you doing? We're like, this guy's clearly not on the court to do something like that. Shot clock's running down. He has to do something. He tries the Euro step. They called it an offensive foul. I mean, the defender was falling over before they even made contact. It was one of those first half. I don't know what was going on with Nick Nurse and the officials in the first half. Look, I know Raptors fans are coming at me on Twitter like, are you seriously arguing calls? You got the leading free throw shooter in the blah. Like, bro, Joel Embiid gets fouled. It just is the way that it is. He gets fouled. He literally gets fouled. They keep sending me this picture of who's a Minnesota Timberwolves center, man, Karl Anthony Towns. The picture of him with his one finger on Joel Embiid's wrist, and they keep. It's a foul. What do you want me to? It's a foul, bro. Is he touching his wrist during a shoot? Like, so he gets fouled, whether it's a ticky-tack touch foul or whatever. You're making contact with the player while he's shooting. The first half calls in this game, I didn't want to come up here and talk about the officiating, but I mean, it was kind of getting like conspiracy theory level up in here because I know how much money the NBA loses if there's a sweep. That first half was like, what are we really watching here? Like, the offensive foul calls were so questionable. And then OG is allowed to throw a big elbow and a shoulder and no call at all. And it is what it is. Like, Nick Nurse is down so bad. He's making himself look stupid on TV every day because he's basically saying to the public, my team is not good enough. I have to harass these officials the entire game. He's in the ref's ear like an angry girlfriend that just went through your phone, like, and you're trying to ignore it. He's right here at the official the entire game. Talk to your players. Tell them to play better defense. Tell them to rotate better. Tell them to do, I don't know.
Been there, DJ. Been there, DJ. Been there. Not a fun situation. There's nothing you can say that's going to be the right thing to say. But at the same time, like, as Michael Levin of the whatever podcast, I say it wrong every time I say it.
Ricky Sanchez, yeah.
Right, Ricky Sanchez says it perfectly. That is some loser shit. You're a loser if you're complaining about losing games because of fouls. You're a loser. The Sixers could have easily been loser shit tonight. But you know what? We didn't. We won that game despite a lot of just the momentum. I'm not even going to talk about foul calls, but just the momentum of the game was not in our favor for the majority of that game, and we fought back. We climbed back inches by inches, and it's just such an uncharacteristic win that gives me so much hope because this is a really tough place to win. The Raptors are not going to be the best team we play in this playoffs, but they are going to be historically the team that gives us the bigger problems. I look at Miami, and Miami is a much better team, but at the same time, like, I'm a little bit more confident going into Miami and beating Miami than I would be if this series didn't start yet. Like, we were all worried about this series. It was all going to be best case scenario, Sixers in 7 or Sixers in 6 or something like that. But it's come to the point where we're considering a sweep. And without Matisse Thybulle tonight, in which we definitely missed him for moments because defensively we could have definitely used him. But Danny Green stepped up and played awesome. Niang played awesome. And it was so great to see such a team win out of the guys like this on the road court where history, it's very tough, dude. It's very, very tough for a Sixers team to go in to Toronto and win a playoff game. It's beautiful. Truly beautiful.
Fred VanVleet, ever since that first quarter of last game, has been ice cold. He was 3 for 13 in this game, 2 for 10 from 3. Down the stretch, honestly, it was like a 1-point game, and he took a horrendous step back 3 with a lot of time on the shot clock. I'm like, that was a terrible shot, and I think he airballed it actually. So VanVleet choked at the end. Like, they had a lot of guys that just came down to earth. The first half, again, they were out hustling us, out rebounding us, doing all the things that I thought the Raptors were going to do, but they were just making a lot of such difficult shots that I was like, this is not going to last. This is not going to last. These OG Anunoby, like, James Harden-esque step back threes are not going to last, dude. Like, unless this kid is that good, maybe he becomes that good. I don't know. But I see these kind of shots from him and from Precious Achiuwa like once in a while. And I'm like, it just doesn't feel real to me. It feels like a smothered full red bar on 2K. You know what I mean? Terrible shot, like 3% chance of going in, and it's a swish. And I'm like, oh my God, do they ever miss? There was runs in this game where I'm like, shot clock running down. We play great defense, and they just make another tough shot. So the second half, they came down to earth real fast. And I just, listen, Toronto Raptors fans, I have bad news for you about Pascal Siakam, man. He can be a solid number 2. He's just not the superstar that you thought he was. And at the end of the game, he had some ISO situations, and he just doesn't seem like he has a whole lot in his bag in a one-on-one situation. He kind of tries to take you off that first step. Joel steps back, plays great defense, and he dribbles out and panic passes to someone else. He was really giving me Ben Simmons vibes a couple of those final possessions where he's like, please, somebody else take the ball. I can't do anything. And I've heard Toronto Raptors fans say that about him when he was playing alongside Kawhi Leonard a couple of years ago, that he kind of takes advantage of mismatches against weaker teams in the regular season. But when it comes to length and size, he doesn't even like face the fire. And I saw that at the end of the game from Pascal Siakam. I think he's an amazing talent, but he's not going to lead a team really against great teams in the playoffs.
But this is the same problem that we've discussed before the series started. It's not that their team isn't talented. Siakam is awesome, but he's not a number one, and it's really, really difficult to ask a guy of Pascal Siakam, Tobias Harris's number 3 kind of players to tell them to go out and be our playoff number 1 shot creator. And it's just not them. I mean, Siakam is not nearly good enough from 3 to be a real threat of a 3-level scorer. He likes playing in the mid-range, and we just contested shots all night long. Regardless if the ball was going in, we contested shots. Maxey got burnt a couple of times defensively. He wasn't really great. He's not a great defender, but his closeouts tonight were fantastic, genuinely fantastic. I mean, he was in Fred VanVleet's face every single time he put up a shot, and some of them went in, but that's how the cookie crumbles. And that's why I was really confident with the Sixers coming back and winning this, because it just seemed, like you said, that every single shot in that first half was contested, heavily contested, 100% heavily contested, red bar, and it still manages to go in. And I felt good because the Sixers could have been down by 30. We were down by 10, and we just are the better team. It's not Nick Nurse's fault. Doc Rivers had a really, really nice night coaching. A couple questionable moments for me, but his rotations were very good. I liked that he put Harden in the last 5 minutes again. I thought that was a really good time with him. I'm glad he took him out and didn't just trust him for the final 8 minutes, because he would have fouled out earlier and the momentum would have died. But
yeah.
I'm really excited about the overall effort from player to coach tonight, because it really came up clutch. And for it to end the way it did, it's poetic, DJ. It's absolutely poetic.
And the third quarter, for me, I mean, Harden was steadily carrying the load a lot of this game. But he was really, really strategic in this game. There's a lot of those regular season games where he looked like I said, he looked like a 45-year-old man and going up against a bunch of 18-year-old athletes, because he would try to take guys that he had no chance of taking to the rim in those games. And he did it a couple times in this game where, Precious Achiuwa just blocks his layup without even jumping. Like, it's like kind of laughable. He's like, okay, get that out of here. Start the play over. And he does that sometimes where there's just guys that James Harden's not going to beat off the dribble or at the rim. But in this game, in the biggest moments, deep in the third quarter, Joel Embiid's on the bench. Harden's leading the charge. They kept getting the mismatches. Every time they got the mismatch of Van Vliet on him, or who's it, Matt Flynn or Michael Flynn? What's his name?
Malachi
Flynn. Every time they got that mismatch, we forget kind of how big and strong James Harden is. He's 6'5", 235, 240. He's a beast, really, when he wants to be. And when he gets a guy like Van Vliet or Flynn on him, and they're not going to bring a double team, it's an automatic bucket for him every time. And he was real strategic in this game in the biggest moments of just getting those mismatches and saying, I'm going straight to the rim. This guy can't stop me. There were so many, just drove right past Van Vliet a couple of times, and nobody helped. And without Embiid on the floor, that's when you talk about what was Toronto really doing defensively in those situations, because who are you guarding so hard that you're not bringing help on Harden? Or if in the regular season or the first couple of games they said, oh, Harden's washed, we don't have to worry about him. One-on-one on a mismatch, he's getting a bucket every time. And he was so strategic in this game with when he drove, when he ran the ISO. I thought in the fourth quarter, when Embiid was still on the bench before he came back in, there was too much ISO. It started to scare me. I didn't think Tyrese Maxey was involved enough. I think Tyrese Maxey, honestly, in this game, played a little bit scared, just being in an away arena. As young and as inexperienced as he is, just the away crowd there and stuff. There was a lot of plays that I feel like I was screaming, take him, take him, take him. And he's just kind of backing off, looking to give the ball to someone else. And so I didn't think Maxey was as aggressive as he should have been in this game, but he had a lot of clutch buckets down the stretch too in that fourth quarter. 18 field goal attempts for him. So I mean that number doesn't really like equal what I just said, but I just think I think there was a lot of times where Maxey had one-on-ones when we were like starving for a bucket when he should have been driving to the rim, especially the end of the fourth quarter. I wanted him to be the go-to guy right there. Maxey has the ball one-on-one, just go to the rim. Nobody can stop Tyrese Maxey driving to the rim. Like nobody, I feel like on this planet Earth can guard Tyrese Maxey going to the rim. They have to play tight defense. They have to be physical, and they have to bring help when he drives. And he gave it to Embiid, and he shot the fade away. And I thought it was a terrible shot. And then he shot another one in overtime and won it. So, yeah. But
I think Maxey
man,
definitely hit some clutch buckets, man. Like I agree with you. It just seems like he couldn't really get a rhythm. He wasn't really allowed to get a rhythm. Like a lot of the times, like he seemed a little bit passive. Like he would give the ball up to Shake when he had a mismatch, and Shake would give the ball right back. He's like, dude, just go out, like go shoot the shot. He had a couple really contested mid-range jumpers that just didn't drop. They were tough shots, but like he hits clutch shot after clutch shot, and I know what happened tonight, but like I'm still standing by, like give the ball to Tyrese Maxey. If there isn't less than like a second and this play tonight, like exactly of this play of magnitude, like give the ball to Tyrese Maxey, man. Like he's the guy. Like he really is the guy in the fourth quarter and the overtimes to go out and get buckets. Like as soon as the overtime tipped off, Maxey like scored a bucket in 3 seconds. Like he ran baseline and just hit that layup in instantly, genuinely instantly. And that shot right there is so goddamn big to jump off with a lead as soon as tip off hits for overtime. Like it's so big. Like it's so nice to see the ball go through the rim as a team when overtime starts, because like if not, it's going to be really tough, man. Like overtimes are really, really hard to play because every single possession, 100% effort by every single guy. So if you can lead off in overtime with a lead, it gives you breathing room and it gives you confidence to go out there and make a shot. And I love Tyrese. It wasn't his best game, but like he still played well. Like he still had a good game. Defensively, he was contesting every 3-pointer. The zone was weird to me. I just think the whole 2-3 zone idea was just strange. Like we're getting out rebounded bad, and we're giving up a lot of threes, and yet Doc Rivers decides to run a defense that allows more rebounds and open shots than any other defense. It was just weird to me. I didn't like that, but I guess it worked.
they started missing open shots.
Yeah, like I guess it worked. OG Anunoby though was incredible. I mean, he has become like prime time basketball player, alpha guy on that team. Like, dude, he was so good. He was so good. He hit some step back three after step back three, and like OG's dribble bag is not like that. Like he's good, like he's confident with the ball, but like he's not like a really good dribble guy, like shot creator. But yeah, he was step back three after step back three, man, and like they were just killing me, and I'm pissed because like the Sixers, there's nothing they can do about it. Like OG just hits a tough shot, and you're just like, kudos to you. But it was over and over and over again, and yet the Sixers weathered the storm and they won the game, and it's beautiful. It really is. We definitely got out rebounded bad if you want to look at those statistics, but the Sixers have shot threes so well this series. I mean, we are shooting lights out right now.
We actually out rebounded them 46-32.
Wow.
But
How many offensive rebounds did Toronto have?
Probably the first half we got killed. They had 20. They had 9 and we had 9. But I think probably the first half is what's sticking in your mind, where we were just getting killed on everything. And I felt like they were shooting the lights out too. And when I looked at the first half stats, of like we were shooting the same percentage from 3. So I think it was just the kind of shots that they were really making.
And turnovers were so bad, dude. I mean,
Turnovers
this was a process era turnover game from the Sixers. Embiid looked so bad in that first half, dude. Like he was getting doubled, tripled, quadrupled, five-old. I don't know what you call five, but
over his head out of bounds. Like he was making so many, gave me nightmares of that
bad
Raptors
flashbacks. Really, really bad flashbacks. But dude, they Embiid came out in the second half and was just a man on a mission. Like, and you know what I love so much about James Harden? James Harden, I don't know if you remember this play specifically. I think it was in the third quarter, or the late second quarter. And Harden, it's a 2-on-1. Harden can easily hit a floater, but instead he gives that alley-oop to Embiid for the one-handed alley-oop that was just like an easy, basically he caught it and dropped it in the rim. That is such an underrated, incredible leadership, just a million IQ type of play by Harden. Instead of being selfish and making an easy layup, he lets Embiid see the ball go through the rim, and it means everything, dude. Like I'm telling you from somebody who's played basketball at a not a high level, but at a high school level, just seeing the ball go through the rim when you're having an off night, it means everything. It means everything. And so like a play like that where I see Harden do that, it just makes me so happy that he's on the team because he had a great game. He really, really did. And that alley-oop is just the epitome of a leader, really, at the end of the day.
I mean, Harden's just one of those guys. He does things instinctually that he probably doesn't even think about. He just reads things, feels things as they happen, and makes the right decision, almost like without consciously thinking about it. He's just one of those guys. Like I imagine if he wasn't an NBA player, if he was a little bit lesser of a level, and he was just a street baller or a rec league type of player, he'd be one of those guys that was just out there, doing all kinds of ridiculous stuff, like no look fake alley oops behind the back through the legs. All like his talent is out of this world for him to do the things that he does in the highest basketball league in the world. I mean, he's just one of the most talented basketball players ever. One of the things that sticks in my mind from a regular season game was where they ran that pick and roll, and he did a fake alley oop like with one hand, brought it back down, and then threw a no look alley oop in the same possession. Like the defender jumped on the fake and he threw. He's just one of those guys that his basketball IQ and his passing ability is crazy. So let's just go through the fourth quarter and overtime to relive it a little bit because it was just the most emotional roller coaster game I've watched in a long time. So the fourth quarter starts. Paul Reed's in the game. He catches a ball under the rim and from Maxey, I believe, and I thought it should have maybe just been an alley oop, but he threw it underneath. He tried to reverse layup and got blocked. He came down like a couple positions later and just reverse dunked poster to Chua on the same like type of play, and then he got poster dunked on the same play. And I'm like, damn man, Paul Reed is having a terrible game. But I respect Doc Rivers for leaving him out there. He had 2 offensive fouls in the first half that were like just terrible calls. The one he's setting a screen, player just trips over his leg and falls over, and he gets called for a moving screen, but he wasn't moving. Like if I just run into your leg, is it a moving screen? It doesn't make any sense. And then the Euro step that he tried to do and got called for an offensive foul there. But I like respect Doc for I mean, not like bailing on him, like, oh my God, he has 2 offensive fouls. He looks terrible. Let's put Paul Millsap out there. I don't know. Like Doc stuck to his guns. Doc's not an idiot. Like he's a stubborn asshole. Don't get me wrong. And he's condescending like prick of a person when it comes to talking to the media and thinking that he's the smartest person in the room. But he knows deep down that Paul Reed it matches the athleticism of this team. So he was going to leave him out there. He needs that energy out there. The fourth quarter was when Embiid started playing on ball defense that was ridiculous on Gary Trent one possession, and then Siakam another possession. He hits an insane step back 3 at a shot clock buzzer. Danny Green misses a layup and then hits a 3 to tie it. Handing the cookie jar on Harden at the end when he fouled out. On the replay, like the way that I saw it on the replay, he did have his hand in there, which Embiid was right behind him. The who I don't remember who had the ball, who was trying to score, Siakam or Achua or somebody, but he didn't really have a shot or a place to go. Harden didn't really have to do that. He kind of stuck his hand in, and it was I guess ticky tack. Like it was one of those things the refs could have chosen to not call. They might have not called it on the other end. They might have called it. It's just one of those things in the biggest moment of a game, but it technically, it was a foul and he fouled out. And I thought we were screwed because I thought he was the player this entire game that was like calming everybody down, that was slowing everything down. That veteran. If we had 2-5 instead of James in his game, we were probably cooked. Like how many years did we watch? Yeah, our point guard not be able to like run a half court offense in the biggest moments of like a crunch time in a playoff game. So we finally have that guy. Aside from his stat sheet, people will say he's not what he used to be or whatever. We have that guy that can control a game in the half court in the biggest games of the season in the playoffs. So that's just massive. Like whether you're getting 12 points from him, 18, 24, it's just it's like when Chris Paul has a 12-point game, but he really controlled the game the entire time. That's more valuable than his, scoring output, especially on this team when he has other scoring options and he's just moving the ball around.
Tonight's the reason we got James Harden. We are never making this comeback in the first half with Ben Simmons. And it's not a knock on Ben Simmons, but it's showing you how good James Harden is. Like he is a quarterback. He is the quarterback of this team. He controls this team. He has the most playoff experience out of anyone in Philadelphia. He knows what to do. And he manages the game so well. His IQ is among the top in the NBA. And it's really, really big to have a guy like that on the team because it to me it seems like no matter how much we're down by, the game is never out of hand. And it's not because I think Harden's going to go out there and hit 40 because I just don't think he has that in him anymore. But he manages the game. He's going to get a good shot on every single half court possession. And like I said in our last stream, dude, when he's pulling down rebounds, I know that possession's going to be good because he doesn't do step back threes and take his time. Like he likes to push the pace when he sees it's right. And when he does so, like this offense is so good. It's so good. And it's going to be a different story if the Sixers win the next game or if the Sixers get out of this series alive. It's going to be a different story against a better team next round. But like this win means a lot. This win means a lot.
I think we win the next one. I think this was Toronto's best opportunity to steal a game. We did not play well in this game at all, and they just went ice cold in the second half. If they would have kept up the shooting they had in the first half, it would have been a different story. But it's one of those things where it's like the truth comes to light. Like at the end of the day, you just don't have enough to compete with Joel, Tyrese, James Harden, and you got Tobias stepping up in certain moments. Like they don't have enough. They just don't. So I thought this was their opportunity to steal one, and I think we can end it in game 4, which is awesome because that'll give us a ton of rest. All right, let's get through some super chats here, and then we'll go to the Discord. I got some people waiting in the Discord. Thanks for waiting. We had a lot to say, man. This game was crazy. Frank Rollo, one of the only level-headed Raptors fans on the planet that is left, says respect to the Sixers today. They proved they are for real and proved Joel should have been MVP. Hey, thank you, man. We appreciate that. It's all love. You know what I mean? The Raptors fans chanting "fuck Joel Embiid," like I think I could compare it to a lot of things, but it's really media narratives, and people are controlled by media narratives, and the whole free throw thing and Joel Embiid flopping and whatever. They think that he had a couple of elbows to the face in game 1 and he's a dirty player and he stepped on Scotty Barnes' ankle on purpose, so they hate him. Like that was majority media driven, local Toronto media, national media, whatever. And so the fans hate him. And that's unfortunate because he's really one of the best players they're ever going to see play the game. And it would be cool if people could get more of an open-minded, level-headed perspective on things like that. But you root for a team. That's just the way it is. If there's a player that I don't watch every night, and that I'd probably be the same way. So it is what it is. I can't really talk. It's not like Philly fans don't do anything as bad as screaming, fuck the other team. We definitely do things like that pretty much every day on a second game of a regular season. So it is what it is. But I just, like, Raptors fans, you're watching one of the greatest players ever, and I challenge you, if you're listening, which you're probably not, you guys all quit, you ran away, you're not here anymore. But I challenge you to just take a step back and just watch his actual level of skill at his size and try to appreciate it instead of hating it. That's kind of what I wanted to say. I don't know.
Well said, DJ. Well said, buddy.
Thank you. Cassell 1982 says, let's go Sixers. Let's go Run It Back Nation. Shout out Eastwood and Greg. Yeah, shout it out, man. We're here, man. It's almost midnight, but needed this. This is actually therapy for me because I was just on such a raging high from watching the end of this game. Matt L says Joel now leads the league in Raptor.
That's awesome. That's a great comment, dude. That's the greatest comment I've ever seen. That's so funny. I don't know why I didn't think of that already.
Joel's Raptor is out of this world, man.
Damn. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's perfect.
Daniel Hill, Joel said he's coming for that sweep. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the post-game interviews and all that stuff. Big Fish Little Boat says that dunk, though, yeah, the Embiid poster on Siakam was in the third quarter, and he just started to feel like, you know what, I'm tired of this BS. And, of course, it was off of a pick and roll. James delivered the ball perfectly in a one-on-one situation, like I've been saying all season since we got James anyway. Joel just benefits from that so much. He's not had this many easy one-on-one opportunities in his career before James got here. He just puts the ball in the, people underestimate it looking at a box score. He just puts the ball in the right place 99% of the time. Entry passes, anything. He reads the floor, sees a mismatch. James does things that not a lot of players can do in a half court instinctually. Higher money, Joel, for MVP Sixers Nation. I agree. It is what it is. If he doesn't win it, he doesn't win it. Aaron Cabbage, we played a terrible game. The refs were giving home cooking calls like an Arkansas granny, and we still won. Joel Embiid is the MVP. I don't care. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate you. Riaz, what a great game. Best in recent memory. Do you see the Hawks Heat possibly going 7 with Capella and Collins back? Would love the rest before round 2. That would be amazing.
No
Yeah,
shot.
no. Yeah, no, I don't see that going 7. I think
Miami's been slept on too. I think Miami has a lot to prove. As I'm also watching the Chicago Bulls Milwaukee Bucks game right now. Bulls are up 14 with 8 minutes left in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, outside of what we think about the Heat or the Hawks or whoever, yeah, I mean, obviously, if we get a sweep and
It's
two
huge.
other series go 6 or 7 games, that would be amazing. I don't see Atlanta going 7 games with the Heat. I just think the Heat are just too well rounded, deep, and great defensively and well coached. Yeah, so
yeah.
Bravo, Carlos. I'm glad we got this win. We're up 3-0. It warms my heart to see all these Raptor fans' faces of sadness and disappointment after tonight's games. I had to go get me the Stop Bitching shirt. Hey, Bravo. Thanks for supporting the channel by copping the merch. Anybody that doesn't know, the Stop Bitching shirt with Joel Embiid is available at runitbackmerch.com. And I put a little face tat above his eye that says MVP 2022 in tiny letters, just so you know. Give you some fine details on the on that. John Mack, I've never seen a player like Embiid in my life. Oh, I'm sorry, 2K. That's it. You got to create a player. It's like that reminds me, like a couple of years ago, there was an interview with some 2K developers that they said like they had to scale back Steph Curry's shot percentage because it wasn't fair to the game. Like if they made the shot percentage if they made him as good as he was in real life, it wasn't fair for a video game. They had to nerf Steph Curry. Like that's how I feel about Joel Embiid. You can't get him in a video game. He's too good. It's not fair. If you have Joel Embiid on yours, if Joel Embiid was as good in 2K as he is in real life, everybody would just pick the Sixers and they would dominate with Joel Embiid. It wouldn't be fair. He's too good. He's too big. He's too skilled. It's just ridiculous.
He's incredible, dude. What he did tonight is it solidifies his almighty status of arguably the best player in Sixers history. I don't really include Wilt Chamberlain since that was like the 1905s, but just what he does on the court, 3 levels defensively, and he's the loudest guy on the court, constantly chirping. He's finding open shooters. His biggest weakness over his career has been the lack of passing ability. In the first half, he was terrible, and for him to come out in the second half and be aggressive and be like, whatever, the past is the past. I don't care. We're down 10. Let's get this dub. It shows so much maturity from Embiid. It showed me so much of him. And just, I think tonight is going to be one of those nights you look back and you're like, this was the moment that Embiid took another step. He took another step tonight. He became a little bit more special, not because of the way it ended, but because he battled adversity. People's characters come out when they are down bad and when they are struggling and when they are in a deficit. And it really showed a lot tonight of what Embiid is as a human being, as a basketball player, and as an all-time great. Because at the end of the day, when he retires, he will go down as one of the greatest to ever play the game.
That shot is just so big time, man. And you can't write it any better. It had to be Joel Embiid making the just turnaround 3 game winner in Toronto in a game where they played horribly for 2.5 quarters. Oh my God, it was just perfectly written. Gambit says we made Embiid cry like a little girl. He's getting his payback. He's getting his payback. Raptors fans have been sending me that video of him crying all week, and that's not an insult to me. You don't find players that care that much
Did you see what
about
Maxey said on it?
what do you
Did you
say.
see what Tyrese Maxey said? He said he was like a sophomore or junior in high school watching the game, and he's like, I'll never forget watching Embiid cry in the locker, or like in the tunnel, and he's like, I love that. I want to play with that guy. I want to be with that guy because I want somebody who is that great that cares that much. And I was like, wow, yeah,
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 I mean, listen, and I can go on another thing about Raptors fans that hate Embiid. I just challenge you to go read something about his childhood and his life. Siakam came from the same small little town full of dirt roads in Cameroon, Africa. Joel Embiid was a volleyball player. He told his dad, "I want to play basketball." They were like, You're not playing basketball, bro. We don't play basketball over here. What are you talking about?" He said, "I'm playing basketball." It's just crazy his story coming from where he came from, and he always wanted to be great at it. And once he realized he was good at it naturally, because he started playing when he was like 16, which is ridiculous. Um, Once he realized he was good at it, he wanted to be the best. And he's such a humble dude. He doesn't live this celebrity lifestyle. He doesn't have a bunch of mansions and 25 Ferraris and show up to a game in Cartier sunglasses, sitting on the sideline looking like Usher in 2002. Like he doesn't care about those things. And a lot of the reason is because he comes from where he came from. I say this a lot about guys like Antetokounmpo, guys like guys that didn't grow up in the privileged United States that we live in, this first world country full of people that have an amazing life that find something to complain about every day because they're literally bored and they need something to complain about. These guys that come from a borderline third world country and come here, they just love being here and they want to do great things here. They have a different mindset, and he wants to be the best, one of the best basketball players ever. He doesn't care about all of the material things that come along with being an NBA player, and I just respect those kind of people more than anything. And Joel's one of those guys. People, when I say he's one of the most humble players ever, people laugh outside of Sixers fans that don't really understand what I'm saying, but he's just one of the most humble guys of all time. Like,
of all time.
yeah,
And he just cares so much about his craft that, like, from an artist's perspective, I genuinely have the utmost admiration for. Like, people gave Joel so much shit for crying when they lost. People gave Joel so much shit for saying, I deserve the MVP. They like, I feel like I've been good enough to be the MVP. People gave him shit for saying, I want to be the defensive player of the year. I want to be an MVP someday. Every single time that people can find a way to, like, turn something he says against them, like, I just look at it and I'm like, don't you want that from your best player? Don't you want, like, that mentality from your best player? Like, don't you want your guy to want to win a championship and want to be the best to ever do it? Like, if you're not trying to be the best at whatever you're doing, why are you doing it? Like, it's crazy to me, and it's so crazy because he's just so good and he's lived up to everything. Like, it wasn't too long ago, DJ, he sat out his first 2 years, and it looked like this guy's never going to play, and Dario Saric is never going to come over, and we're never going to have this, we're never going to have that. Like, it wasn't that long ago, and now we have arguably the best player on the entire planet Earth, who
yeah,
has been, knock on wood, the healthiest he's ever been. I know he was dealing with a wrist thing tonight, and he got his elbow hurt last game. There's not a person in the NBA and that are playing right now in the playoffs that isn't dealing with an injury. It's just the way it is in the playoffs. Every single player is hurting in some way. It's just how are you gonna play over it? How are you gonna go past it? Like, he's just amazing. Like, he
yeah.
really is
Sam
amazing.
Hinkie saw it, man. Sam Hinkie saw it when he was in college. At his size, hitting the double dream shake fadeaway, and he said it. This guy at his size with that skill level is one of one, and he's injured right now. He's gonna fall to us at number 3. We're taking him. You absolutely have to take a chance on that. I think really the other two teams who were the Minnesota Timberwolves and I don't know who else.
The Bucks with Jabari Parker.
Jabari Parker, yeah. Was it the Bucks though?
Yeah, it
Like,
was. No,
was
no,
it?
no. It was yeah, it was wasn't it the Bucks that had number 2 that drafted
Probably.
Jabari? I think it
Yes, I
was.
think it was. Yeah.
It went Wiggins,
I
Jabari,
really think
Embiid,
I really
and
think
then
those
Aaron
guys should.
Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon was 4.
Yeah. I really think like at his size and skill level, like you had to take a chance on that. And then he injured the foot again. He was out for 2 seasons. We were like, but if he ever plays, though, we're watching the highlights and we're watching him in practice, and we're like, if he ever plays, he's gonna be fucking amazing. We know it. You can see it from just the size and skill. And finally, we get the healthiest season of his career, and he's just off the charts good. Mr. Bing, that shot will unlock an even deeper level of confidence for Embiid. Wouldn't surprise me if he drops 40 plus next game. Philly cheesesteak, I'm so conflicted. How big is Embiid down there? I'll let you ponder that if you would like to. I mean, he's at the end. I mean, let's just talk geometrics here. He's a 7 foot tall African. Okay, so use your imagination if you want to. Rasan Granderson. Harden and Embiid came up big this game. What I tell you, Ace, let's go Sixers in 4. I really hope we pull out the sweep, man. Thank you guys for all the support, man. This entire season, getting to the playoffs like this, man, it's awesome. Kevin Wilson, Jokic, Flabby, Keister would still be spinning for that last second fadeaway. Joel is money. While Joker cashes regular season Monopoly Bucks MVP. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I never really put Jokic down too much. I think they're two totally different types of players, and Jokic is a 7 foot point guard. That's why when I have those debates with Swipe a Cam, I get kind of over the conversation because I'm like, he's just a 7 foot point guard. He's great at it, but he's not a center to me. He's not dominating down low. You're not like, oh, crunch time, give Jokic the ball on the block. Like, nah, come on, man. Joel's the most dominant center since Shaquille O'Neal, and in my opinion, the most skilled of all time. The combination of power and finesse just never been seen before. I'm sorry. Hakeem is a better post player and defensively. See, there we go, man. Like, everybody has their opinion. That's fine. Joel's the best center I've ever seen, and I'm going to stick to that. I've never seen a player his size do what he does.
I'm also not going to sit here and be like, oh, he's definitely better than Hakeem, or Hakeem's definitely better than him, because I don't know about you, Mike Kamina, but I've never watched Hakeem Olajuwon play in full real time.
Oh,
I'm
we can
sorry. I'm
exactly.
sorry I wasn't alive in the 80s and 90s to watch the game. I don't know anything about – I know Hakeem Olajuwon. I know his clips. I've seen highlight games. I know Hakeem. I know how good he is. But, again, I'm not going to be like I know everything about the guy. Because, again, like, what's our biggest thing, DJ? We constantly say eye test. I can't tell you the eye test because I did not watch Hakeem play. So I just want to say Embiid is the best center I've ever seen in my entire life. And that goes back to Shaq. And I just, it's not a knock against Shaquille O'Neal because he's one of the greatest players of all time. But when it comes to complete player on both sides of the court and free throws, I personally believe that Embiid is the greatest center I've ever seen play basketball.
I swear, some of the people in the chat have to be 100 years old. Like, there's like, it blows my mind. Come on, man, you didn't watch Wilt? You weren't around in 1936?
That's like the guy that, did you see JJ Redick on whatever that ESPN show is, when he was like comparing, like the guy next to him was saying Bob Cousy's the greatest point guard ever, and
Yeah,
JJ
they were
Redick's like,
talking about 97.5 today.
yeah, and he's like, you're really gonna sit there and say that Bob Cousy's better than Chris Paul? He's like, if Kyrie Irving went back into the 70s and played a finals game, they would look at him like he's a wizard. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's a fact. It's a fact.
Exactly.
So again, I'm not gonna
Like,
say
come on, man. Kyrie's like triple through the leg spin move, up and under, reverse finish, English off the glass against like 3 7-footers at the same time. It's a joke.
He's the most skilled player I've ever seen play. He's
It's
the
a
most skilled
joke.
player.
He would score. Anybody in this era would score 60 points a game in that era. It just is what it is. It's evolution. That's
Even
like,
Tony Snow.
dude, it's evolution, man.
Yeah, but
Like,
we're going to be saying the same thing 30 years from now. We're going to be saying the same thing 30 years
Right.
from now, and that's
Our-
not
our- our
it's
Olympic
not a knock.
Are
It's
Olympic sprinters faster right now than Olympic sprinters were in 1920? Yes.
Exactly, and that's not a knock to previous eras. It's just, it's science. It's literally evolution. That's how it happens. Like, we were once one animal and we evolved into another animal, and it's not like we just stop evolving. Like, the people are getting stronger and faster and taller and better, and we analytically have changed the game of basketball. We've changed the way we play basketball over the past 10 years alone, that it's just it's better now than it was in early 2000s. Like Ben Wallace, one of my favorite players of all time, is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest defensive players I've ever seen in my life. He just wouldn't be that this year. Like, he wouldn't be like that in the NBA now because he's a one-dimensional defensive, undersized center. It's not a knock to Ben Wallace. It's proof that the evolution of the game is just it's never ending. It's not a bad thing. I hate comparing eras unless it's LeBron versus Jordan. Then I will do that all day.
I don't want to get into that. This is gonna be a 3-hour show. Let's jump in the Discord for everybody that's been waiting. Thank you guys for hanging out in the Discord. I don't know who was there first, so we're gonna go rapid fire. Danny Hilt in the Discord. Oh, I didn't put myself in there. Hold on, there we go. All right, Danny Hilt in the Discord. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing great. Oh my God, what an amazing game.
I'm not gonna lie, we had no business being even close to that. It should have gotten blown out. But that was a great win, and Joel conquered his fears sort of in Toronto.
Yeah, he did. He overcame something that was, in the first half was looking like, oh my God, this is Joel Embiid in Toronto again. But he overcame it in that third and fourth quarter. And to hit that game winner like that is wild.
100%. One thing I will say, a couple things. Tobias played great defense, and honestly, Siakam has no bag. It's just he loves doing a spin move. If he can't do a spin move, he passes the ball. It's that simple.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
James Harden shot 53% from the field today and 50% from three. So that's a big dub. And, he pulled basically like a Chris Paul and controlled the whole tempo of the whole game. And then in overtime, because James Harden wasn't there, I feel like Maxey was trying to get other guys involved and trying to be the point guard instead of just being himself. And I also think with all like the charges calls from earlier, I think he was a little afraid to put up more of a floater, and he kept trying to take, contested mid ranges or trying to kick it out.
Yeah, I don't think he was going as hard to the rim as I would have liked. I just thought he was being a little bit hesitant, and I honestly do think that he had a little bit of jitters, a little bit of nervousness, just playing in a away hostile environment. Obviously, the Sixers crowd being behind you lights you up and energizes you and instills confidence in you and lets you believe that you can do anything you want. You know what I mean? Like, it's different with a fan base that hates your guts for somebody that's 21 years old. So I definitely saw some hesitation from Tyrese Maxey as far as his attacking and stuff like that. But, he came up big in big moments too. I can't, say too much bad about him, man.
100%. I think the kid's going to be a star. But I think this was like a learning curve. He's got to learn sometime. Like Joel had the Toronto series before, Tyrese, would be a little this series away. So
yeah, man, I agree.
Got to learn sometime.
Hey, Danny, thank you for calling in as always, my man.
Hey, real quick. Hey, bro, everyone click the like button real quick while you're on the stream.
Yeah, hit the like button. Listen to my man, Danny, man. He do what he says.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I agree with everything you said, man. Process 619 in the Discord. Process 619 in the Discord.
Wait, real quick. Can I peep? Can I chime in? This dude said the Sixers are really lucky because the Raptors are so young. If you look at that Raptors team, most of them won the championship when they won that 2019 championship. So I just wanted to say that. Van Vliet's done it. Van Vliet, Siakam, they've all done it.
I mean, how does that really even make any sense, though? Like, his point doesn't make any sense. How are we lucky because your team is young? Like, you're just admitting
they're not that young. That's the funny thing, man.
But even if he wants to use that, you're admitting that your team is not as good as our team.
Also,
that's us being better.
Also, who's the youngest guy on the court? It's Tyrese Maxey. And what team's he on?
Boom. Somebody asked for me to drop the link to join the Discord, so I'm going to do that right now as soon as I figure out how.
Bulls up 8.
Create invite. There we go. We'll just do it this way. Copy. The Bulls are up 8 on the Bucks.
Yeah, there's like
And
3 minutes left.
that is game 2.
Game 2.
And the Bucks won game 1.
They did. Also, guys, Scotty Barnes is currently injured. I just wanted to remind you guys that, yeah, Scotty's like 12 years old, but he's also not playing. So, also, guys, Scotty Barnes is currently. Just wanted to throw that out there. You could have even left up that echo. They should hear it twice. Why not?
Yeah, I open when I do the Discord, I got to open the thing, and then I clicked on the YouTube link to go to my chat so I could pin the message, and it played your voice twice.
I know. I have to remember that. I have to remember to like kind of be quiet when people call in. It's
no, I don't think there's an echo outside of me playing the video in the background.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't really. So I pinned the Discord message there if you guys want to join the Discord. Anybody that's not in the Discord, and we will. J Mel's been waiting in the Discord. J Mel, what's going on? I think some people jump in the Discord early and then they like leave their phone. They like walk away or something, and then it's just in there. J Mel going once. J Mel's mic is muted. Oh, did he jump on right there? J Mel, what's up, man? J Mel, what's up?
So I'm here to guys to Tobias Harris first. The way that he's been playing not only offense but defense, I love it. But shout out to Joel Embiid, the MVP. They threw up the stats today. Who would you vote for MVP, Giannis or Joel Embiid? Obviously, a lot of Sixers fans are watching, but that should be a testament to Joel Embiid should be MVP, first of all.
Yeah, even asking that question. I mean, Giannis has some great numbers this season. I just feel like a lot of guys came on the second half of the season that jumped in the conversation. That kind of turks me a little bit because Joel was dominating way back in November. He was on runs where like he broke the record for most 30 and 12 games in Sixers history. He did so many things on that run where he like had like what 20, 30-point games in a row. Like everybody forgets about all that stuff.
But that's why this game-winning shot meant so much, DJ, because these guys feel like Nikola Jokic down 0-2 to Golden State is a better player than Joel Embiid. And he went out there, hit this fadeaway, which he's been doing the past couple games, hitting when the shot clock is down, fadeaway 3.
Yep.
Ugh. Yep. Nasty shots, dude. But as a Philly fan, as an Eagles fan, as a Sixers fan, I went into this game thinking this is a game that we're going to lose. The fact that they kept fighting and fighting and fighting and came away with the win shows me this is a championship team. James Harden fouling out, guys stepping in, playoff team. I can't pick one guy that balled out specifically, whether it's on the bench or our starters besides Joel Embiid doing Joel Embiid things. I can't pick one guy that stood out. And I love that. It's a team effort, team win.
I completely agree.
Win the chip.
I completely agree. And when you say, this was a game that you felt like we were going to lose, I felt the same way. And I'm pretty sure we were down by 17. I'm glad you reminded me to say this. We were down by 17 when Ken Birch shot a 3 from the corner, and I said, if this goes in, I'm turning this off. I know I have a YouTube show to do. I know people are waiting to hear what I say. If Ken Birch hits a corner 3 in the first quarter to put them up by 20, I'm out of here. There's no way this is real. And he shanked it. And honestly, that might have been a turning point of the game, Ken Birch thinking that he deserves or should ever shoot a 3-pointer. But this was the one game that the Raptors could have stole, and the Sixers just hung in there, man. We played a terrible game for 2.5, 3 quarters, and we just hung around. And to pull it out in overtime with as many turnovers as we had, as many offensive rebounds as they had in the first half, I mean, that was just a resilient, like just knockdown, drag out, dog fight of a win. Just amazing. This is one of my favorite games of the entire season.
Dude, our center, fadeaway 3, game winner. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man.
Give him the MVP. Stop being disrespectful to the city of Philadelphia.
That's never going to change.
That's never going to change. Simmons, screw Bill Simmons. Screw Ryan Russillo. They hate Philadelphia.
They're Boston fans.
Give him the MVP.
Amazing that Boston fans like Bill Simmons get to vote on MVP. Like, how crazy is that?
And if you listen to his podcast, he's obviously a Sixers hater.
Yeah, he hates the Sixers. Yeah, that's well known, man. Hey, J-Mel, I'm going to move on to some other callers, man. You got anything else for me?
Nah, my guy, let's get it. 4-0. Let's sweep these guys. Joel Embiid talking crap to Drake. Drizzy, write this in your fuck next song, motherfucker. Let's get it.
Yo, he kind of reminded me of Romp. He kind of sounded like Romp a little bit.
J-Mel, man, thank you for that. That was awesome. The Drake hate. I don't know. Listen, Drake wearing cornrows. I think that might be the downfall of Toronto Raptors. The last person in that building that wore cornrows and succeeded was a guy that's not there anymore. Drake should do away with the cornrows. Maybe go with a different hairstyle. I don't think it's working for you. Time Cop in the Discord. What's up, Time Cop? Time Cop. Interesting name. Time Cop is not there. Kev 215. Shout out to the 215. Philadelphia. Kev 215 in the Discord.
Kev, hey, what's up, Eastwood?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, just want to say I've been following you since the start of last season. Love the podcast. It's awesome bringing Greg on. It's been a ton of fun watching him do the reviews the next day. Just want to say, I don't know, I got a little nervous watching us run a 2-3 zone against the Raptors with how many offensive rebounds they get. I don't know if that was because of Thibault going out, but I'm glad they started missing shots. Embiid found his rhythm after that first quarter, and able to go up 3-0 is just, freaking awesome. Super excited.
Yeah, I didn't even take notice to the zone. Greg pointed that out, and I was like, wait, did we run a zone? What do you think, really, Greg, or you? Why do you think Doc decided to do that?
Yeah, I think it's just it's a semi-older team out there with Danny Green getting so many more minutes, and you got Embiid's been awesome, but he's still 7'2". They list him at 280, but he's probably like 315. Just a big guy. I don't know. I mean, it was tough in the first quarter. I thought they were going to switch out of it, but then that second half, as you mentioned, they just started missing shots and lost kind of that. I mean, they were just shooting lights out. There's no way that was going to be sustainable.
Exactly.
And so, we finally just let that play out. Van Fleet did Van Fleet things. And that was kind of that. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, Van Fleet was 3 for 13. Man, that's terrible. Hey, listen, like when before they traded Kyle Lowry, and Van Vliet would always come in and kill us as a backup point guard. It kind of gives me Terry Rozier vibes, like kind of just a backup point guard your whole career, man. Now you've been thrusted into the starting point guard role, and you need to come up big in playoff games, and you're shooting 3 for 13. I don't know, maybe some backup point guards are just backup point guards.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I actually hope, I know I don't want to sidetrack it, but I'm hoping Simmons actually goes in for the Nets so people can just see, what Embiid was dealing with when you just have a guy who's going, I got friends from Philly texting me all the time, like, oh, Harden's playing so bad. It's like, dude, if you get a 20-10 point guard, like, I'm taking that all day. Right. The dude's controlling the rhythm, controlling tempo. He's getting Harris involved now, who's playing great all series. And you can just see from Maxwell the confidence he gets after almost every possession or like dead whistle. He's going up to Harden and talking to him and getting advice, and Harden's kind of walking him through stuff. And then you see Maxey going up on Green on the technical foul. Like, you can really see him, as a second-year player, like, he's not afraid to talk to a guy who's got a couple rings under his belt and isn't afraid to kind of get in people's grill about winning. It's great.
Yeah, for sure, man. You think we pull out the sweep tomorrow? Or not tomorrow, obviously, but what is it, 2 days from now?
Saturday.
I think they're going to figure it out in the first half, and then they might call it in and then just wait till Thibault comes back. Same thing how they ran the zone a lot. I think kind of what you said with Doc Rivers kind of calling it quits, or just not having that intensity late in the season. I think he tries to play a very mental game in terms of what games he cares about. And I think he doesn't really care if they lose one in Toronto, if it means that they kind of get a rest and then they come out guns blazing in Game 5.
Not a bad take. Not a bad take. I would like for them to pull off the sweep, but yeah, if they don't, if Toronto has a hot shooting night, or if we play an entire game like we played the first half of this one, it definitely wouldn't be the end of the world. We would be like, it's okay, guys. We're going to go back to Philly and put it away. Has there ever been a team that comes back from a 3-0 deficit? I mean, somebody in the chat said
Never.
the Raptors winning in 7.
I don't believe so.
Never been done.
I don't think it's ever been done. Yeah.
Hey, Kev, thanks for the call in, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Love the podcast. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Take it easy.
I want to say that I would be genuinely shocked to see the Sixers lose Game 4. Shocked.
I would be too, because
I think like you said earlier, the Raptors gave it everything they had. And I also believe that the Sixers you don't want to play another game. If you can 4-0 sweep a team, you 4-0 sweep them. You don't take it lightly at all. The Sixers they want to get done this series as soon as possible, because the more you let a team hang around, the more and more pressure starts to loom. The Sixers don't want that. They want to win this in 4. They're going to try and get the afternoon game at 2:00 on Saturday over and done with and get that dumped, and then see the Heat game go 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
Yeah, Predator Kingdom says Raps in 7. He says, if we win on Saturday, we have new life. Listen, Predator Kingdom, first of all, I want to ask you how old you are. You remind me, not an insult, by the way. I was watching the 2001 NBA Finals where the Sixers were taking on the Lakers. Like later in my life, watching that or rewatching it or just looking at those two teams, the Sixers had no chance in that series whatsoever. But I was telling myself every game, if we just do this, come on, bro. It's Shaq and Kobe versus Iverson and a bunch of nobody that anybody needs to remember in NBA history besides maybe Dikembe Mutombo for half a season. No, you're not winning on Saturday, and it's not going to give you new life, and the Raptors are done, man. You just got to listen. It's going to be easier for you if you just accept that. I promise you. Process 619 in the Discord.
DJ,
what's up, man?
Yo, I had a drive home a little fast, and I had a couple drinks just to get here and talk to you here, because let me tell you something. I have a message for Raptors fans right now. Okay, they're so arrogant and they're so smug. I just want them to know that this is not hockey. All right, this ain't rolling 4 lines with muckers and grinders. Okay, so you guys lace back on the skates, because your basketball season is about to come to an end. You threw everything you could at the Sixers tonight, and you had, in the end, no answer for Joel Embiid. Okay, that's why superstars win in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
You can have a whole team of mediocre or slightly above average dudes. I mean, Siakam's a nice player. They got a bunch of nice players, but you don't have superstars, and superstars win in the playoffs. And I just want you all to eat on that. And I want you all to, think about that, because if it weren't for Kawhi, you wouldn't have beat us before. And, revenge is so sweet. So I hope you all have a good night. And I hope you find something else to do. I hope you get out of your parents' basements and go do something else for the rest of your time this summer. Good night.
You know what? Saying that it's not hockey reminds me of something. There's some obvious fouls that they show on a 500-foot TV in the middle of the arena, and the entire crowd's like, oh, boo. And I'm like, bro, I don't even think maybe they know the rules of basketball. Actually, now that I think about it, they're just like, yay, let's go root for a sport because it's Toronto team. I don't know if they even know what a foul is, because there's obvious hacks and blocks and just body checks and all these things, and they're booing the refs. And it's just do you guys even know what a foul is? Because look, it's in slow motion in front of your face.
I mean, they think that Embiid is pretending when he's getting hacked all the time. I mean, you're double and triple teaming the greatest player in the NBA right now, And this is what happens. You cannot contain him. You can only hope that he misses a couple foul shots like he did tonight. And guess what? You still couldn't capitalize. He missed the foul shots tonight, and in the end, he still got the better of you. So I hope you all just, go to sleep tonight and just like it happened to me, just like I had to go to bed with nightmares of that Kawhi double doink. Go to bed thinking about that Embiid fade away.
Oh.
And let me just say something else too. I appreciate, Jokic as a player. I think he's a fantastic player, but he does not have the physical skills and the physical tools that Joel Embiid has. I mean, he is a premier player, and it is a crying shame that flabby fraud is going to win his second MVP. Meanwhile, Joel Embiid is just destroying the NBA.
I cannot disagree, my man. Thank
All
you
right,
for
good night,
calling in,
DJ.
man. Yeah, take it easy, man, and don't drink and drive.
What a way to start a call. What a way to start a call, DJ. Oh, God.
By the way, disclaimer for YouTube: if you're under 21 years of age in the United States, do not consume alcoholic beverages, and never, ever, ever drive after drinking, especially just to talk to a YouTube show. Oh man, I'm getting tired here. We got Dante G still been hanging out in the Discord. Dante G, thanks for waiting, and thanks for everybody that's just joined the Discord server. By the way, there's like 9 or 10 people that just joined it, so thanks for joining. Dante G, what's up?
Oh, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say to all the Raptors fans saying, Siakam, no Sixers can guard Siakam. Siakam couldn't beat nobody on the dribble today. You had Tobias Harris locking him up.
Yeah, and he doesn't look confident doing it. It looks like he bails. He looks like he tries to make one move, it doesn't happen, and I'm telling you, he gives me Ben Simmons vibes in big moments. Like he's like, please, somebody else take the ball. I can't do it.
Hey, all he does is like spin, like he's a fidget spinner.
Fidget spinner.
I'll give credit though to Tobias because I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of hating on Tobias this whole season. He's been stepping up in these playoffs.
He has been stepping up, man. I've been such a Tobias Harris hater. Oh my goodness. Like I have entire videos calling Tobias Harris a fraud. Like he's been huge.
I was mad though. He did miss that layup in the end, or he did get fouled, but with the one on Joel Embiid's mister.
Oh yeah, he commented on that in his post-game interview right on the court side. He was like, "Yeah, that little bunny right next to the rim. I wish I would have made that. Like that was the game winner."
Yeah,
a foot away from the basket.
But these Raptors fans are going crazy though. Like, I'm so happy that we finally just own them.
Yeah, I think it's like anything, man. Like I say all the time, that Twitter is just a space of toxicity, and like the most psychotic people in the world are on there. I feel the same way about Toronto Raptors fans on YouTube and Twitter. They're just like it's really like, a bunch of maniacs typing really hard on their keyboard. You notice all of these shows that I've done, not a single one has jumped into Discord and called the show or called the phone number. Never. They're just typing away, saying like the craziest things they can think of. And they really must have nothing to do. They must have no Toronto Raptors content creators to look to. I mean, there's one guy that's in my Discord chat every single day. Like you're in a Philadelphia 76ers creators Discord chat every day. What? Just go find something to do. I don't get it. I would never hang out in a Boston Celtics chat.
Yeah. Oh, they're crazy. I will say that I wasn't a lot of people were mad about the FMB chance, but I wasn't too mad about that because, as we say, everyone, we were doing a lot to Trae Young.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Fuck Trae Young, though. Trae Young deserves it. Fuck Trae Young.
Absolutely. You know what? And when Trae Young hits like a 40-footer from the logo and then bows at your home court, like you're gonna yell fuck Trae Young, but at the end of the day, you also are gonna admit, like, damn it. How did he make that? Damn it. You know what I mean? Like, I wish they would just at least say that about Embiid. Like, you can hate him all you want, but at least say, damn it, he's great, and we couldn't stop him. And they won't do that.
Bulls beat the Bucks.
Yeah, right, I'm gonna hop off. All right.
All right, man. Thank you. The Bulls what?
The Bulls won.
All right, man. Listen, there's still 500 people in here. Please hit the like button. It is 12:30. Overtime game. Man, I am beat. took a lot out of me. I think we covered everything we needed to cover. What do you think, Greg? You got any final things to say?
Dude, I'm too locked in to just genuine happiness to even break the game down anymore. We deserved it, man. We deserve this. We deserve this run. We deserve this win. No better place to do it at. Embiid deserves every single thing that's going to be coming his way tonight. I hope he goes home, hangs out with his smoking hot wife, hangs out with his little kid, and just enjoys the family. Probably not, since they're in Toronto. I take back everything I just said, but I hope he FaceTimes them, and that he deserves to just feel happy because he showed me so much tonight. Battled adversity, came back from 17 down, uncharacteristic win for the Sixers, and maybe this year is a little different, DJ. Maybe.
Final thought for me, now that Daniel Hill just said this, so many players are tweeting about Embiid for MVP. It's wild. This is what happens when Joel Embiid is on national TV. Now everybody's watching. Now everybody's seeing what we have seen for 82 straight games, or for, whatever he played, 72 games or whatever he played. Now everybody's seeing what we watched all season, what we watched on a Monday night against the Detroit Pistons, or what we watched on a Tuesday night against the whoever else. Like, the national people outside of our fan base are not watching those games. Now everybody's seeing what we're talking about. He's been doing this for a long time. He deserves the recognition. And now that the playoffs started and the games are nationally televised, everybody's jumping on the, oh my God, look how great he is. We've been trying to tell you guys, damn it.
That's the thing. It's like, it's not like the MVP is a regular season award. I know that. You know that. Everybody that creates content hopefully knows that. But it's not that he's doing anything different this series, because he's not doing anything different. This isn't something we've never seen before. It's the fact that he's done this all year long. All year long. It's just now people are finally seeing what we've been watching for the last 2 seasons, and I just want him to win it. I just want him to win it because he deserves it, and it's the only thing.
Philly roster is so flawed, and you all know it. See, no, I'm not even going to respond to things like that. It's getting late. There's no way I'm going to waste my time responding to nonsense like that. So, with that said, Greg, of course, thanks for jumping in, man. Thanks for everyone that came through. Hit the like button on your way out.
Saturday.
I can't wait to just rewatch the Joel Embiid game winner like 20 times in a row before I go to sleep.
Amen to that. Yeah, I'll see you. I'll catch you Saturday.
Absolutely. We'll be here. Me and Greg will be here Saturday for the end of the series.
Amen.
All right, man.
Amen.
Peace.
Peace.
Everybody. Run it back nation. You the best.